We're joined today by Josh Gutierrez. Help me with my double R's, Clara. How do
You
you
did
say it?
great. No, you did great. Unless Josh complains about it.
Are you complaining, Josh?
No, I can't even pronounce the double R. So
How would you say your last name, please?
I say Gutierrez. So
Thank
Gutierrez.
you.
All right.
Okay, go like it.
I didn't want to be like on the news where they're like, today in Nicaragua. Gutierrez. But I'm glad you say it like I do, Josh. So that's good.
I,
We're joined.
I love it. No, the way you guys, I love Doug, you crack me up. Okay, basta. Okay. Pokemon, Josh Gutierrez. Okay, yes, of course I'm
There we
gonna
go.
say
See, you did it though.
I can help it. No, I'm not gonna say I don't do intros. No, please don't do that to me.
All right. Josh Gutierrez, online card seller. So I don't know much about cards. I remember sports cards, Star Wars cards from the 70s, which I wish I'd saved.
yeah.
Magic the Gathering cards and Pokemon cards. I know that Pokemon Go is back. Cards are big again. So I'm excited to learn more about cards with you, Josh. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here. I for sure hope to give some good information to the listeners. I'm definitely a big fan of the podcast, so I'm glad to be a part of it. And yeah, looking forward to it.
All
We're
right.
so happy to have you here, Josh. Because to be honest, I've never done collectible cards. I have
Mhm.
no experience on it, so I'm really looking forward to see what you're gonna share with our community. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
Well, let's get into it. So, Josh, what cards do you sell and what cards do you collect? And where's the intersection?
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as selling, my focus is mainly Pokemon. I do dabble in sports cards, obviously, and then collecting wise, I'll get into anything that I think that has a community that I think I could turn into profit, basically. And they literally make cards for everything. So as far as collectibles go, I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start.
That's a good answer, Doug, huh?
Yeah,
Especially you that
exactly.
you're such a collector yourself. So, and Josh, how did you get into selling cars? And is there something you specifically focus on in the Pokemon collection?
Mhm.
Something that you really look for, or without being so detailed, right? But
Right.
to let us know what's your focus, please.
So, short story of this is I had kind of been into reselling for a little while already before I got into cards, but I was super into Gary Vee at the time, and then of
Yeah,
course Pokemon Go craze happened. So it just started an itch to live out a childhood dream as an adult, and yeah, I can go out and collect them all. So that's
yeah,
definitely what started it. And then at this point, my mindset is okay. I want to make money off of this,
yeah.
and people are making thousands of dollars off of literally old originals that we had no idea as kids that were going to be worth this much. And as far as anything that I look for, obviously anything that's original or reprint of the original. Now obviously there's like kind of variations of that, but just generally speaking, you definitely want to be on the lookout for the original cards. And then personally, any new packs that are coming out, a lot of people, they kind of think that it's too late to get into Pokemon card collecting,
Yeah.
but they have so many releases, and those releases are like super limited. So it's kind of like shoes in that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's super competitive, so you got to be
Huh.
on it pretty much. And yeah, so the demand will be so high for the newer packs that you can literally profit that same week, sell it for twice the amount.
Wow.
Wow.
It's interesting. So, super high level, can you break down the different types of collectible cards that are out there? What's popular?
So they just released a new pack. I actually have it written.
Of course they did. Okay. Dale.
Yeah.
Share with us.
So
Okay.
right now, I mean, basically, if you can get your hands on any Darkness Ablaze, which is like a set, and then
Darkness of.
Vivid Voltage. So they're like two different sets of the same cards, but they both have So there's like very specific cards within those sets that make those entire sets valuable, pretty much. So as a collector, you're trying to get your hands on as many packs as possible. It's really hard to keep them sealed. I always open mine. So like for
Oh,
sure, to keep
yes.
them sealed, that's going to be the easiest way to sell. But there's always one or two cards that kind of set you apart within each drop.
Right.
And so those are Pokemon sets you're talking about?
Yeah. So
Okay,
like
and
Pokemon
then
is kind of like the general, and then there's a bunch of different sets with a certain numbered amount of cards within that.
okay.
Yeah.
And then there's Pokemon, sports cards, Magic the Gathering. What else is super big right now?
So Magic the Gathering is pretty lucrative, and then of course sports cards, but to me that's a little harder to get into personally. It's just there's so many different brands. Like Pokemon, it falls under one umbrella. With sports cards, there's just so many different brands, and there's just a lot of it basically.
Yeah.
And then yeah, pretty much. And then of course Japanimation or anime.
Oh, yes.
It is really popular. Like Dragon Ball Z cards are really they're crazy right now. Like, so it just depends. There's a lot of stuff out there.
How do you know about Dragon Ball Z? Do you understand?
I was thinking the same thing.
No, how does he? No, wow, that just blows. Why didn't I keep it?
Yeah, it's just like a natural progression. If you get into Pokemon cards, you're very likely a fan of Dragon Ball Z, and then you just kind of see what's out there, and then and see what it's selling for. Like reseller value, you can buy something at reseller value and still flip it for more later. Like, that's how crazy it is.
Wow, it's like real estate. Okay, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, the question that the audience must be wondering themselves and myself is, how big is your collection, Josh? Where do you store it, and how big is it? Come on, give us an idea.
So compared to a lot of the people I follow, I mean, people have literal entire rooms dedicated to their card collection. Right now I have a bookshelf full. Definitely need to get into some of those and list them. I need to get into some of those and list them. But yeah, I'm at a bookshelf right now. It causes many arguments with my partner, but it's fine.
All right. So she is seeing the value of your real estate investment affected by your collection of Pokemon cards. Is that correct? But it's what an investment. I'm very excited. You make me want to collect myself some Pokemon cards.
I think everyone should collect them.
I'm starting to agree with you, especially with Dragon Ball Z. How could you? I'm still, hold on. I'm dying. Get me out of this mindset. I'm like, I gotta move on, but wow, I cannot believe it.
Yeah, that was an interesting one to hear come up.
That's only the tip of the iceberg. There's
No. Come on. Don't be a teaser. Give us a little more. Come on.
So, I mean, I don't know how in tune you guys are with what's hit, but like there's Dragon Slayer, there's One Punch Man, Attack on Titan. They're even starting to make like UFC sports cards, which is relatively yeah. So there's a lot.
That makes sense. UFC is so trendy now.
Yeah, it really is.
I have a friend, Sergeant Reds. He's a toy seller, and he started selling, and they've been on the show. He started selling magic cards, and he got to a point where he was selling magic cards online and then expanded into collectible toys. And now he's got his dream was to have his own toy store. So he has that. But he bought card filers from libraries. Remember Clara will remember back in the library when you go and you'd have to look it up in a card.
No way! I remember, and then you would have that little metal container, so you would, and then it would have like the fancy one would have like rails, so you could keep the cards organized, and then the other ones would be just like an accordion, like wow.
And that's where he keeps his Magic the Gathering cards. So he's got so many. He's got, I forget, it's a library catalog file system or something. I don't know what it's called, but it's these giant things in his store. It's interesting. where do you sell cards, or where do you sell, and where's the
Yeah.
best place to sell and buy cards?
Yeah, that's what I
So
was wondering. Does he sell them, or are you just storing and saving them? So maybe it's your later,
mhm.
because I used to save in vintage clothing. Okay, when I said to people, "Hey, saving vintage clothing," I get it, Josh. I get it. Okay, but tell us, share with us, what are your plans with that collection?
So I sell on pretty much every major marketplace. So for me, that would be eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Now
Yeah,
there's a couple other places you can go to sell, but for me, those would be the main platforms I would tell resellers who want to get into it.
yeah.
Definitely eBay. It's the biggest platform out there. Now, surprisingly, I have had most of my sales on Poshmark, believe it or not.
Interesting.
Yeah,
What?
and then
Wait. These Pokemon cards that you just
mhm.
told me about, they're selling in Poshmark more than eBay?
Yeah, for me currently. Now, I don't want to say that this is what it's
Well, no,
always
no, no. And
been
we're
like,
talking
but
about you. You're
Yeah.
you're
mhm.
reselling. This is Doug. Are
Yeah, this
you
sounds
as
interesting.
surprised as me?
And the thing about Poshmark is you always got to price it a little bit more than what you're actually trying to sell it for. And
Yeah.
people surprisingly buy it. I don't know why, but that's just how it's
Perceived
been.
value.
Mhm.
Perceived value.
And that's really important in the card game for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, I get it.
Interesting.
So and
Now,
Mercari is so easy to list. I have to list on Mercari.
and how is that going, that channel for you?
So Mercari is actually really good for electronics. I feel like it's kind of geared towards a younger crowd, maybe more so people who are in their 20s, early
Okay.
20s.
Yeah.
And it's just really easy for people to find games, to find different like I said, if you're into cards, you're very likely into other things like vintage manga collections or vintage VHS collections, and it's just really easy to sell on Mercari.
Yeah, I like Macari as well.
In the how do okay, so once I find these cards, okay, so let's say that I
Mhm.
found Pokemon, what was it called? Dark something, okay. So let's say I found that card, okay. How would I do to determine the value, the estimated value of that card if I want to resell it online?
So the Bible for Pokemon card value is it's Pokemon TCG. You can just Google it and it'll take you straight to the page.
ECG.
Yeah, and it just stands for trading card game. And they'll have a catalog of every set with every card and the base value it'll be worth, which maybe it's like, but you don't have to live by it. That's the thing. So like a lot of basic cards are valued at less than $1, but like if you have a Pikachu, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's basic. Someone's gonna buy it for $5 because they want that specific card. And by the way, $5 makes your entire pack back. So you really just need one card to hit.
Wow.
Interesting.
Doug, are we partnering on this
Yeah, I
with
know. It's
us? Okay. So are we doing like, I don't know, trading cars Inc.
there you
Okay.
go. Carding perfectly.
Exactly.
Interesting. Well, and that is an interesting point. Is like you sell one card for $5, it's covered your pack.
Yeah,
That's
that's kind of how I look at it. Now,
Yeah.
it is really hard to get rid of like those really basic trainer cards, energy cards, or if you're into Pokemon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I would say the best advice for that is to get a couple of rare cards and include it in a bulk sale. I mean, that's going to be the best way to
exactly what I did.
get.
Nice tip.
That's right. That's exactly what the same concept applies for clothing and anything else. You have to have, like I call the eye catchers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So have you ever used any card grading services?
Yeah, so PSA would be the top tier card mint service. There
Okay.
are other, I guess, high level card grading services, but there are collectors who, if it is not graded by PSA, they won't even look at it. So
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
that's
wow.
yeah. So definitely, I would recommend PSA to anyone who wants to get a card minted.
And do you ever go to the shows or anything?
No, no, I don't go that deep. I feel like the internet is enough for me. Yeah.
Okay.
But when you do this, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back on your question, Doug. That is so interesting. I'm curious now, especially because we're doing this partnership. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm back to the
Yeah.
podcast. Okay, Clara. So with the card grading service, how does it work? I have to mail it to them. I have to take
Mhm.
pictures of it. How does it work?
So basically, with card grade services, you're going to have to send it in by mail. So it's very important to make sure that you have your bubble wrap ready, you have a soft case and a hard case, because you definitely don't want any kind of bend or damage to happen in any way. And it does happen when you mail this stuff, but yeah, so definitely don't take shortcuts when it comes to shipping off your cards. And they will literally look at, I mean, if there's a tiny little speck of dust on it, it's going to cost you. And that's, at the highest end, that could be a couple $1,000s.
Ouch.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. So yeah, you would mail it in, and then they have, so depending on how many cards you mail in and how fast you want it done, it
Yeah.
could range from like $50, and it's based on the value as well. So if it's valued at $500, it could be from $50 to $200 just to get that graded.
Quite an investment.
Yeah, so it definitely is an investment if you're going that route. But I will say that you don't have to do that to be successful. That's just if you're really serious about getting the best value on a rare card.
All right. Okay, I was just wondering. I'm like, ouch, if I'm gonna be doing that with every card. I was like, ouch,
No,
that's gonna
definitely not every card for sure.
because this is a great segue for the next question I have.
Mhm.
Josh, what are some of the unique challenges, okay, related to selling these collectible cards?
So I think one of the most unique challenges in this, I guess, community is being the first one in line. Because as soon as a drop happens, if you're a day late, like it's gone, and you might not find that pack for another few months. And when you do find that pack, it's not going to be worth as much because obviously there's a
Huh.
restock or a reprint or whatever that may be. So being the first one to jump on a new pack it's very integral if you want to be successful.
Interesting. And then, so let's go back to shipping. So
Mhm.
unique shipping challenges as well. So give us kind of the high level. Let's say you're shipping, somebody's bought a card and you're shipping it out.
So
Mm.
it's not anything too complicated. It's just having the necessary materials ready in bulk. Because if you're buying like single hard cases, single plastic cases, and then of course you're bubble wrapping envelopes and you're doing it that way, it might not even be worth it to sell, one card that you have priced at $7, and then you
Oh,
spent $5 on all your materials. So that's,
Yeah.
if you're getting into selling cards and a lot of them, I would say buy in bulk, and then yeah, it'll pay back later, and it's not something you have to worry about. But when you're first selling, you're like, now I got to go buy this hard case that costs $3 by itself, and then yeah.
now, what is some advice you could give to any aspiring car seller, whether they have experience with collecting cars or maybe they're just doing it for their reselling purpose and they don't understand the collections, but they're starting to research? So, what would be a comprehensive advice for this audience?
So I
Clara and I are
think
taking notes. So
so comprehension, but
I
the
know.
most
Can you tell, like, okay, the partnership? So,
yes.
Josh, okay, tell us what would be a good answer to become a partner when this
Mhm.
endeavor.
So I would say at base level, if I was giving new advice, it's
Yeah.
if you see card packs, just buy it, and don't think about what you're gonna sell it for. I would say just start buying, build up your collection, because at the end of the day,
Uh,
it really is about having inventory and just listing all of that inventory just to keep that flow going, because you're not necessarily going to sell everything all at once. And anything that you do find that will be worth selling, you might want to sit on that. You might want to go and get that minted because it's selling for $800 if you're getting like a 7, a 7 rating or whatever, because they rate it 1 through 10.
Yeah.
So I would, yeah, so definitely just start buying, be a part of the community. And when I say be a part of the community, I don't mean that you have to be someone who's super involved and is well known or some sort of influencer. It's
Yeah.
just, to me, it's just a matter of being willing to seek information, and then seek information and then be willing to ask questions to other people who are successful. And you can really only do that by being involved and basically going out and seeing what's selling, seeing what's being released. There's no influencer out there right now who has any secret information to this. Like, they are literally just staying up to date on what's dropping, and they're going to be the first person in line. And then, of course, they'll sell you that news on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, there you go.
But what an incredible, I would have never guessed, just buy the collection. It makes sense. Like you said, it's like I did when with vintage clothing. It is true. Sometimes you gotta buy the bulk, the palette, and then you'll see, you have some gems that one gem just covered for the whole palette.
Yeah.
Lily, it's like, wow, I'm having an aha moment. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, so it's definitely a game of inventory and patience, like at its most base level. And if you have the patience to never open your packs, you're ahead of everyone. It's so addicting because you want to get that pull, that one special card that's I mean, one card could make your entire year. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Could see that. So let's go back to eBay for a bit. So eBay, you said, eBay's really good for selling cards. eBay really leaned into trading cards over the past year or so. They've got that card authentication program. So are you familiar with that at all? What's your opinion of that and selling cards on eBay?
So it kind of has mixed reviews in the community. So basically, for anyone who doesn't know, their card authentication program is any card that's priced over $500, they're going to go out of their way to authenticate that for you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but people who are high-level players in the game don't really like that because they're paying all of this money to go to PSA and get that minted, and get that graded. And, that kind of PSA kind of acts as the authenticator.
Yeah.
So it's, for a lot of people, it's like double work, and it's still super necessary. But of course, eBay is trying to kind of make that easy on sellers. So in the future, I could see that working because they're actually talking about adding a grading service. I don't know when that's supposed to drop or how it's going to work. And I don't even know how it's going to affect the industry, but it could be trouble for PSA if people start kind of living off of those values, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah. What a perspective, Doug, huh?
Yeah. No, that makes sense, though. It is interesting.
Go eBay, because that's giving some sort. Am I just seeing this, or am I getting a perception that maybe this organization has a little monopoly at the moment?
I feel if they take it a step further and they really dial in on the card grading, it would feel a lot like a monopoly, because I feel like PSA kind of has that monopoly and they affect the market.
That's what I was going to say. I wasn't talking about eBay, Josh, but that's what I was thinking about. This organization, not eBay, but PSA right now has like some sort of monopoly, dictating maybe somehow, not dictating, but honoring the demand and offer, but at the same time minting certain cards, and so forth.
And it's really like, if you asked me the difference between a 9 and a 10, like, I wouldn't be able to even spot that difference.
Really?
So, this is affecting, this is the difference between $5,000 and $10,000. So it's really hard to know. If eBay came in and made that process a little easier for the masses, it's certainly a game changer.
eBay, there you have it. I know you're listening. We're waiting for your minting process.
That's right.
And, well done. Wow, go figure. What a perspective, Doug, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely could have an influence on the market for sure.
Absolutely. Now, Pokemon Go seems to be big again. Do you play?
So I did play for a little bit. I kind of it was cool because so many people were outside and you knew that they were literally playing Pokemon Go. But
Really?
yeah, it kind of died out for me a little bit. But I have a Nintendo Switch, so I'm literally just like the games are actually picking up. I don't know if y'all remember the Game Boy; those games were huge,
Oh,
but
Yeah.
it's
of
on the
course.
next generation now, and that's definitely
Yeah.
picking up big time for me.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. My wife and kids are way back into it and they're trying to get me. I'll mess around a little
It's good
bit, but not as
exercise.
much as they do. What's that?
Pokemon Go, it's really good exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. We we kind of do it in the house, so we got to expand our
that, that you can do this, okay?
outside. Yeah.
Open that door, and there's the outdoors,
Leave
okay?
the house. Yeah. Interesting. All right. So what's your rarest card that you've bought or sold?
So this is actually funny. So the rarest card I've ever sold was actually a lot of people don't know this about
Yeah.
Pokemon cards. So obviously the prize find is the original set that first came out, but people don't know that they have two different versions of that. So they have a shadowed version and an unshadowed version. So the
Wow.
unshadowed version is like the original, very first ones that were printed. And those are the ones that are like being auctioned off for like 20, 30 grand. And I actually owned one of those. And this was before I was even like reselling. Like I just had this in my collection and I sold it for like 300 bucks at that time without that knowledge. And literally right now, if it was graded, it would be worth like 20 grand. So that's probably like my most lucrative sell when I wasn't even a reseller. And then my biggest buy is a James
Yeah.
Harden rookie card.
Wait, wait,
Okay.
wait. James, what?
James Harden rookie card, basketball player. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So that was probably my biggest buy, and it's actually gone up in value a little bit. So I'm kind of hoping he wins a ring. But even if he retires, he's Hall of Fame material, I think.
Okay, can I, without offending our beautiful audience and my co-host and my beautiful guest, would you mind sharing which teams did they play for? You know, like
Yeah.
I'm blank with those names. Okay.
So he started off with the OKC Thunder, and then he went and played a couple years with the Houston Rockets, and had a pretty
Oh,
successful tenure, short of winning a championship. And now
yeah,
he's kind of he's older now, so he's kind of moving on to other team, greener pastures. But
yeah.
he's one of the top players in the league. He's definitely someone, when you look for, I guess, rookie cards, you want to get kind of like the cheaper ones. You want to kind of predict who's going to
Okay.
have that Hall of Fame career. So for me, it was definitely that was
That
how
was
I
your
had
that
it.
was your bet, your investment.
Exactly.
So, Josh, what are some of the car selling communities you participate in, please?
Okay, so I know you guys are big into Facebook. I'm not necessarily into
Yeah.
Facebook. I do have a Facebook. I do get on it. But for actual like communities with the best information where you can go and ask questions and not feel like you have to put yourself out there too much, I would say go to Reddit. There's literally a community called Pokemon Card Value.
Wow.
Then there's Pokemon TCG, and then there's one more. I had it written down because I really
ECG trading car. What was it?
trading card game.
Oh, okay, trading. Okay, I'm learning. See, audience, I'm learning. Okay, this partnership is gonna work.
And then sometimes you can even search in the specific pack names, and there's entire communities dedicated to those cards within that set. And then, of course, I
Oh,
would
so you
say
don't need to open it. So you could go to Reddit in this community and then see what is inside of the pack and leave it like Josh said. Resist the urge. Do not open.
exactly, and you can get up to date values. And people like these are communities that have a lot of traffic, so your questions will get answered fairly easy. And there's all levels of sellers. Some people don't even sell; they're just collectors, and you might meet buyers in that way. So
Wow.
that's why I think community is probably the most important thing when it comes to selling because
Wow.
marketplaces are great, but you might not necessarily make your best sell from a marketplace. there's a lot of collectors who are looking for this stuff, and you never know when you come across them.
Couldn't agree more, Josh. Pearls of Wisdom by Josh Gutierrez. That was with a Spanish accent. Okay, I
That's
couldn't
right.
help it.
It adds something to it, I think.
Right, and I wanted to just throw it in there for anyone who likes to go on YouTube for information. Look up
Yeah.
Dr. Applesauce 2 and Twice Baked Jake. Just search those guys up on YouTube. They're probably they're not the most informative. I mean, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you can find plenty of people who maybe work for you. But just go look at their channels and look at their information. They give you step-by-step guides of how they sell their cards. So I always recommend, like, literally my friends always ask me how to sell, and that's who I point them to. So yeah, I just, if anyone's interested, definitely go check those people out.
So is there a singular card? You're like across all the different types. Is there a singular card, holy grail card you're looking for, you're holding out for, you're hoping for?
Yes. I mean, I feel like there's a couple and it always changes, but
All right.
right now, so specifically for Pokemon, the one I'm really looking for is Charizard VMAX Rainbow Rare.
Wait, wait,
And
wait,
then
wait. Okay, for the one that speaks multiple languages, chars. Okay, like your char, like your board is char, like after burning.
yeah,
Is that like it?
yeah,
Okay,
Charizard.
char and what?
Zard.
What?
Charizard, yeah.
Charizard.
Yeah.
Okay. And so chars are
So yeah, Charizard, and then like the type of card it is would be VMAX Rainbow Rare.
oh
Yeah, so there's like different levels of rarity, and that's one of the, like, if you pulled that in a pack without any grade, you could probably sell it for $200 right now.
no, Josh, you cannot tease me like that. Now I want to know what is B max. Okay, rare. Now I need to know it. Okay.
Yeah, there's a few. It's changed since the early days. So they used to just have like regular holographics. So at the most basic level, they have reverse holographic, and then they have the standard holographic, and they'll have like they'll have like a Charizard V, but it's not a V Max, and then they'll have the Charizard V Max, but it's not Rainbow Rare, and then they'll have the Charizard V Max Rainbow Rare, which is the most elite of the elite.
Wow.
Yeah, and then of course, I would like to pull my Justin Herbert rookie card or mosaic.
Yes. Me too.
Now,
So Clara, that's my favorite. Believe it or not,
uh,
I'm not into sports, just into NFL football, and I'm a huge Chargers fan.
yes.
Los Angeles Chargers. I preferred when they were in San Diego.
Oh, yes. I am.
Justin Herbert.
Again, as a soccer fan, I am offended. Okay. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, when they moved the team. Oof. But Justin Herbert's their quarterback.
Oh, yes, I do get that.
He's
That's important. Yes.
quite the rookie, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not that he was quite the rookie. Now he's
No, but if
his
you could
third.
land one of those when he first came out, it's like, yeah,
Wow.
You never know. Who knows? You never know.
exactly. That's why you buy the
yeah.
packs.
And he was, not to go too far into this, but he was supposed to be the backup, and he literally the starting quarterback Tyrod Taylor got injured when they were injecting him with something, the coaches or the trainers, and they punctured his lung like 15 minutes before the game.
Yeah.
And that's how this guy decided that he found out 10 minutes in or 10 minutes before that he was going to go, and he was playing against the Super Bowl champion defending Chiefs.
Yeah, and
he did well.
Yeah, so like this is a good example of kind of just having that knowledge and knowing when to buy, because when Justin Herbert was drafted, yeah, he was a first round pick, but no one considered him to be elite, like a once in a lifetime prospect, which he ultimately. So if you had all this time before week 1 to literally get that rookie card for peanuts, and now it's almost impossible to get.
Yeah. Offer and demand, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
And demand.
Well, so, and like you said, perceived value, like you say.
Well, the thing is that athlete, earned it, so he went from being drafted and being the underdog, and now make into, what is it called? I'm so sorry, football fans. Okay, Super Bowl. Is it called Super Bowl? Okay,
Yeah,
so
hopefully
that's
this year.
impressive. And if you invested on that, it's like, it's like, like any investment concept. If you took
Exactly.
your hunch, your wisdom, and you understood the risk and you went for it. So thank you, Josh. You simplify the perception for me, at least, of investing on these cards, and these. But I am curious. Okay, so now you got the algorithm and the
Yeah.
formula for game cards. Do you sell anything else other than these cards?
Of course. Yeah. So
Oh,
those are my, those are the investments I do for fun. I sell those for fun. Uh,
uh-huh.
but yeah, of course, I sell shoes. I live that thrift life. I do all of that. Anything that I can get my hands on. I sell mugs. I sell VHS tapes, VCRs, everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I just read a review, Doug, of a person that saw the VHS machine working, and that this person was so happy because they were able to watch their wedding and reception
Nice.
and anniversary. So it's just so, VHS is so back. I would have never guessed. So wow, Josh, reselling everything from cards, from anything you can flip, but your love being cards. Doug, where do we go from here?
Now, anything to add that we haven't covered, or anything you want to throw in across the board?
Yeah. So if you're a reseller, I will buy your cards at reseller value. And I will sit on them for 2 years and sell them for $100 more. So I just want to remind people that if you put the research in, you can go and find cards that are being sold at resale value.
Uh-huh.
So this is on the high end, maybe like 40 or $50 and then of course, you might have to dish out 100 or 200 for that rainbow rare,
Yeah.
but you could buy that. And if you're willing to sit on it, even go through the process of getting it minted, I mean, you
Yeah.
could 10x your investment.
Now, if I don't want to get it minted and I want to research the value and make the decision, should I invest on this or not? Where should I go, Josh?
Okay, so if you're not sure if you want to get something minted,
Yeah.
so I'll just say that you can sit on something and the value will go up, 20,
Wow.
$30. That might be enough for you. I'm not saying that you have to go and, you know, dish out $1,000 to maybe make $5,000. Like, that's just how the game is. You don't have to do that. But to me, if you have that one card that you come across, and you
Mhm.
look, you see what it's selling for on eBay. You see it,
Yeah.
like, it's not complicated. Just go to eBay, go to
Okay.
Poshmark, go to Mercari, see what they're selling for at full mint price, and that's literally all you have to do. And then decide for yourself, like, if I put in this $1,000, will it be worth it in 2 months to sell it for $3,000?
Okay.
And that's just projecting. It's not necessarily 1,000. It might be 200. It might be $300 to get that mint.
Interesting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Thank you
very
so
good.
much. What an understanding of this topic. Thank you so much, Josh.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and you're the first card seller we've had on the show. So thanks
Yeah,
for schooling us.
I want it to be as informative as possible. I want people to get into it. I want it to be a normal part of the reseller community. Why not? It's really lucrative. There's no reason not to. It's still super early because, you know what? A lot of people don't get into cards because they feel like it's too late. But in reality, it's as early as it's ever been, because eventually
Wow.
collectible cards are going to be part of digital marketplaces. It's going to be a part of
Yes.
Web3. They're
That
already
is,
making NBA digital packs, and they're
yeah.
going for like $100. So eventually
Interesting.
that'll spread to the masses. So, and if
Yeah.
you can get your hands on any of that for basically nothing right now, like, go for
Exactly.
it.
So, Josh, please stay online with us, okay, after we finish this. So we wrap up, okay, our partnership details. This is very lucrative. I swear, this is incredible. I'm excited. When you talk with someone and like, okay, I want to do this. As a former reseller, full-time reseller, you make me miss so much. And that now I imagine those packs that I miss and they were unopened. I would see them on the shelf, okay, of the
Mhm.
thrift stores, and I would see them, and you're like, nah, I won't put $15 on that. Now you're making me look at that. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I?
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
definitely do it. Definitely, you'll find them in unexpected places. I was grocery shopping at Kroger,
Yeah.
which I don't know if everyone has Kroger. Maybe it's a Texas thing. I don't know.
Oh no, there we have it here in the
Okay,
West Coast,
cool. So,
California, Arizona. We have it.
so typically a pack is like $4. I literally found them just grocery shopping at Kroger for $3. And yeah, and I literally bought up, and there was no like sell limit. So I bought up all those cards. I know some people might hate that. Leave some for the kids. I get it, but I am kind of a kid, so yeah, I definitely bought all of them.
Yes, you're nurturing your inner kid, and that's something that I
Yeah.
always say. We were just talking about that, Doug, in the today on at least perfectly live, talking about the reward system as a reseller and
Yeah.
how healthy it is to set that rewarding system, and then at the same time help people to find that inventory worldwide, right?
Yeah. Definitely. Well, yeah. Thanks, Josh, for joining us. So we're
Right,
joined
yeah.
today by Josh Gutierrez.
Mhm.
He's looking for a Justin Herbert rookie card. He's looking for a Charizard X Max rainbow card. Or is it V Max?
Is it?
VMAX.
V
Oh,
Max.
VMAX. I knew it. It was that one. Okay. I
And
got
he'll buy.
confused too. Was it the rainbow or the VMAX? Which one?
So they're
Yeah,
they're
both.
both separate, but also there is a like VMAX by itself, yes, but the VMAX Rainbow Rare, yeah,
All
that's the
right.
Okay, there you go, audience.
Keep an
If you
eye out.
find that, okay, dive on it, just get it. Okay, investment like real estate or even better than crypto at this point. Okay, just no, just
Yeah,
keep
maybe so.
no
Sounds like.
financial advice, people.
there's gonna be literal crypto coins based
Yep,
off of Pokemon cards. I'm just
Yeah,
NFTs,
saying.
NFTs.
Exactly. Exactly.
there you go.
That's right. I believe on it. And we'll talk about that in our partnership and moving soon to the next. No, just
That's
kidding.
right. And Josh says he'll buy your cards if you want to sell them.
Yes, he's
Absolutely.
ready.
All right. Thank you so much, Josh. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
I
Josh.
appreciate both of you. I'm glad I got to do this. I would love to do it again.
You
And thanks
got
for
it.
having me.
Anytime. Thank you, Josh.
Well, Clara and I are going to put together our questions for our partnership, and then we'll have you back.
Sounds
Absolutely.
good.